Ram. Hearty welcome to Sri Sathya Seva Gurukulam online classes chapter on light. There is light within all of us. Do you agree? And the same light is everywhere. And what is that makes us to see all the things around us? The sunlight, correct? Even you have got so many sources of light like candle light, the jyoti what you light in the puja room, and so many things, correct? So let us just recall what we have studied in this chapter so far. Properties of light. What are the properties? Reflection. Is it not? When you keep any object in front of a mirror, all of you are interested in your combing hair, looking at your face in a mirror, correct? So what do you see there? It's nothing but reflection. And there is one more special property called lateral inversion. Suppose you keep a clock showing 5 o'clock, the image is seen as 7 o'clock. That is called lateral inversion. There are some more properties which I am going to study later, like refraction, interference. All these will be some special properties of light. And also you have seen about multiple images. When the mirrors are kept in angles, they form different kinds of images. Especially when they are kept parallel, you can see thousands of images. And one of the devices which shows these multiple images is kaleidoscope. It gives a beautiful pattern of colors. There you use some pieces of bangle or some glass pieces, colored glass pieces. And when you just rotate, what happens? Different designs happens. That is because of the mirrors kept in different angles, correct? I think some of you have done it already. Also we have studied about dispersion of light and spectrum of light. What is dispersion of light? When white light is passed through glass prism, that is triangle based prism, it splits up into how many colors? 7 colors. And this phenomenon is called dispersion of light. And the series of colors what you get is called as spectrum. What you call it as? Vibgyor. V-I-B-G-Y-O-R. What is V? Violet. I? Indigo. B? Blue. G? Green. Y? Yellow. O? Orange. R? Red. This is a series of colors what you get by the white light. So one white light is made up of these 7 colors. So this series of colors is called spectrum. What is the natural spectrum you see in nature? Rainbow. You are correct. How it is seen? It is in the form of a semicircle. And where it is seen? In the eastern sky or in the western sky. In the morning times you see in the western sky. In the evening times we see in the eastern sky, just opposite to sun, correct? It happens only in the rainy season. Also we have studied that the different parts of the eye. Eye is one of the beautiful or most important organs in the body. As it is, the whole human body is such a complicated, you may say, and such a wonderful machine. And one of the parts of the eye is, one of the organs, most important organ is eye, through which we can see the whole world, the mysteries of the world. And this eye will have some defects, and these defects like short-sightedness, long-sightedness, etc. They can be corrected also, correct? Short-sightedness can be corrected by using a spectacle of concave lens. Long-sightedness can be corrected by the spectacle of convex lens, correct? So, and also you have got some other defect like cataract, for example. Aged people will have a kind of formation of white blurred layer will be formed in the eye, that is called cataract. So, these are some of the defects and their corrections. Now, coming to home assignment, the first question, explain how you can take care of eyes. As eyes are most important, and see how it is kept safely between the bones. And also you have got an arrangement of eyelids. So, but you must take care of the eyes, which I already discussed. So, if any defect is seen in the eye, what defect? You can see the near objects but not the far object. That is what is called myopia or short-sightedness. Another defect is you can see the far object but not near objects. That is called long-sightedness or hypermetropia. In such cases, or if there is a water shedding out, any burning in the burning session eye, all these have to be corrected then and there. So, you have to go for specialist. What do you call the specialist? Ophthalmologist. And the branch of medical course which studies these defects and eye and all its operations is called ophthalmology. What do you mean by orthopedics? The branch of medicine which studies about bones, correct? What is cardiology? The branch of which medicine which studies about heart, correct? Dermatology means about skin. So, all the different parts of the body is studied under different branches, okay? So, go to the ophthalmologist or eye specialist. And while reading, you should not read in a dim light or in a bright light. Bright light means what? Like laser or in the hot sun, you should not read. Your eye gets strained. Even dim light also, when the power goes off in the evening times, it will be dim light. Or when the cloudy weather in the morning, you should not read at that time. Then because it gets strained to the eyes. Once the strain comes to the eyes, it cannot do the work properly. Avoid direct exposure of sunlight to the eye, especially in the eclipse time. How many have seen eclipses? Yeah, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. There are two eclipses. In solar eclipse time, some are tempted to see the sun. How that shadow comes and all. You should not see directly. Very dangerous. So, sun should not be seen directly with the eyes. If dust particles or small insects enter our eye, do not rub your eyes. Some have the habit of rubbing. Should not do. Then what you must do? Take a plate of water, just soak your eyes on that and blink on that. So, the eye will be washed. You are not supposed to brush it directly, rub it directly. It's very, very dangerous. And lastly, maintain a distance of at least 25 centimeters between the book and the eyes while reading. Should not be too close. You can try if you want. If you bring the book too close, you can't read any sentence. Or too far also. So, the normal distance, so it's called least distance of direct vision is 25 centimeters. So, minimum that one. If it is little more also no issue. So, this is called least distance of direct vision. Okay, maintain distance, something like 1 foot. That's ideal. Okay, don't bring it so near, don't take it too long also. Okay, these are the care we have to take for the welfare of the eye. Now there are, name the defects of vision. Major defects of vision are long-sightedness. Also in biology call it as hypermetropia, where you can see the objects at long distances but not the objects of nearness. So in the classroom also some boys can read from the back only, they can see the board, but they can't see the things written in the very close to there. That is called long-sightedness or hypermetropia. Another is short-sightedness. Here we can see the objects which are very near but not very far. That's why some boys or girls, they say, sir, I am not able to see the board because they are seated back. Then the teachers must understand the difficulties. So they must make them to sit front because they can see objects of the near objects but not far objects. So if the board is very far, they can't read anything. So it also called as myopia. And how do you correct it? Long-sightedness can be corrected by using spectacles of concave lens. And short-sightedness can be corrected by the spectacles of convex lens. And cataract, this happens only for the old age people after 60 plus. There is a kind of white layer coming in front of the eyes, and these layers will not make us to read properly, write properly, all those things. It's a minor operation, they will remove that. Okay, that's also one of the defects of the eye. And one more question we have, how can night birds see in the dark? Can you name some night birds? Yeah, why it is called? It is called as owl, O-W-L. So night bird's example is owl. They can see very well through the darkness, but they cannot see well in the night times. They cannot see well in the daytime. So what is the reason? They have large cornea. What is cornea? It is just like a screen, the behind, the part of the eye in the behind, just like a screen it acts, it's called cornea. And they have a large pupil. So what happens then? They can see in the night time very well. So people will help to see the objects very well. That's why the owl and all have big eyes, and that will allow more light to come in. These birds have more rods which are sensitive to dim light. And when you say more rods, less cones. There are two parts in the retina called as cones and rods. Cones and rods. So that's very sensitive. So it has got more rods. Therefore, it is very sensitive to dim light. So in dim light also it can see. Even cats also. And naturally when you say rods are more, cones are less. So they can see very well through the darkness. So this is the thing, the home assignment. Now coming to today's topic. we have two interesting things. One is called reading and writing of visually impaired persons, means who are blind, who cannot see the things. Another one is the discovery that is made to study, that is called Braille System. It is named after the scientist called Braille. So Braille is the name of a scientist and the system is called Braille System. Shall we see some details about it? Okay. So this is the actually the Braille page. So here is a blind man who touches the ups and downs here. So by touching that, you can make out, just as we read, through eyes, they can feel it by the help of movement of fingers on this book, and it is called as Braille book. So visually impaired persons can read and write using Braille system. And what is Braille system? It has got different techniques. Okay, and see, these people develop their other senses more sharply to improve their interaction with the environment. So even though they may not have eyesight, the ears will be very sharp, and tongue also, and all other senses will be very sharp, nose, etc. For example, you might have heard about a famous musician, and he was hearing, his hearing was very good, and he is a very famous singer from North Karnataka who has taught thousands of blind persons. He was blind actually, but his hearing was very good. He learned the Carnatic music very well and trained so many people free of cost. Okay, and there are so many examples like that. Even there is a cricket match. There is a cricket team recently in Bangalore, just yesterday. The blind cricket team has won the World Cup. They scored a very high score and they won the World Cup. And you may ask, how can they make out the bowling, batting, etc. There will be some sound. When the ball comes, no sound will be heard. By seeing the direction of the sound, they will hit it, and the ball will go in different directions. And while the ball is going, they can make out by the sound there. So there are other senses, namely hearing, talking, touching, all this. Here the person is touching here. So by touching he can make out the Braille system. So who is this person? Some of you may be knowing. His name is Louis Braille. He is actually a visually challenged person, means he cannot see. Developed a system of visually challenged persons and published it in 1821. This is one of the systems, what you call Braille literature. Here you see, this stands for A, this is for B, this is for C, like that. And the visually challenged persons will touch their hands and they can make out, and they prepare words, sentences and all. And nowadays even computers also have come, same type. So this is group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, group 5, group 6, different kinds of notations, like just like a keyboard. See, here is this stands for 1 dot, this is for semicolon, like that is question mark, like that. So it's one of the beautiful systems they have developed. All credit goes to Louis Braille, who invented this system called Braille system. And what you see now today is all based on the system that was discovered in 1932 based on this Braille system. Okay, there are so many schools also for that. So this is another something like a keyboard about the Braille system. So this is our codes. So for example, these three dots is called P. This is called F, U, M, W, V, B, like that, and they'll join, or different letters joined together become words, and words will become sentences. This is how numbers. See, the three dots kept like this become 0. If you just change, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All these, and these are different symbols. So nice. Of course, you and I, by God's grace, we have got our eyes properly. The value of a thing is known only when it is not there. So these people also, those who are visually impaired, they will understand the importance of the eyes, because they don't have eyes. So when a person is living, many people not understand his hard work or sincerity and all. Only when he is not there, they will remind. That is the nature of the world. So there is Braille code for common languages, mathematics and scientific notations. Even science also can be learned by the Braille system. Mathematics also, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and all. Many Indian languages can be read in Braille system. How many languages are there? So many. Correct? What language you can speak? Kannada, English, Hindi, like that. Okay, some may know some Telugu also, Tamil also. All these can be learnt in the Braille system. So that is how he touches the things and understand things. So how is the Braille system used? Visually impaired people learn the Braille system by beginning with letters and then special characteristics and letter combinations. So they combine letters. For example, A and D and B-O-Y, come on, boy, G-I-R-L, girl, A-I-R, air. Like that, letters joined, special characteristic joined becomes words. They recognize the letters by touching. Each character has to be memorized. Here, just like we do memories, poems are memorized, correct? And your mathematical formulas are memorized. Science also, some of the things, facts and figures are memorized. So also here, they memorize the words. That is by touching. Braille text can be produced by hand or by machine. So nowadays they use machine also. Earlier used to do in hand only. Nowadays typewriter like devices or printing machines have been developed. So printing machine also has come. All these what they type, it will be printed. And there is one more lady who has worked on that. Do you know what is the name of that lady who worked on this Braille system? Her name is Helen A. Keller. Even now also so many institutions are there in their name. She is an American author and lecturer who lost her sight when she was 18 months old. 1.5 years she was. At that time she has lost the eyes, but she has become world famous because most well known and inspiring visually challenged persons. So that is her contribution. She, even though she lost her eyes in a very young age, she had engaged herself in the improvement of Braille system. She got a graduation from a university and wrote a number of books including the story of my life in 1903. So she went to the college, university, and Many books she has written, and she is an ideal as far as the Braille system is concerned. She has given a very good contribution to the field of visually impaired persons. Okay. Now, what are the aids? Let us see. Aids to learn. Non-optical aids include visual aids and tactual aids using the sense of touch. Non-optical means without light. Optical means connected with eyes that we can see. So there what they do is they use visual aids and tactual aids. Tactual aids means by touching, because they can't see, no. They can touch and say. Just like one 5 members went to they meet a elephant. One of them touched, they are all blind people. One of them touched on the trunk and he said elephant is like a serpent. Another touched the body, he touched the whole body and said elephant is like a wall. Another touched the feet, he said like a pillars, 4 pillars, elephant is like a 4 pillars. Another touched the tail, very small one, and he said it is that like a serpent. Another touched the ears, said very big in size. So as they touch it, they had their own experience, and everybody started arguing that elephant is like a serpent, like a wall, like a pillar, and so on. So a lot of quarrel took place. Then an intelligent fellow came there. What is your problem? Of course, all of them are blind. And what they experience is their touch. They touch different parts of the elephant. There is nothing wrong. But the person, the wise man said, why are you quarreling for this? All of you are correct. But you touched only one part of the elephant. That's why you look like that. So if all your experiences are added, it becomes a big elephant. Correct? Then he said, the summation of all your thoughts, ideas is nothing but elephant. So these non-optical aids here, tactual aids means by the touch. Auditory aids means using the sense of hearing. I was telling about that blind music master, his name is Gawai. And that Gawai has a big institute also. There they give more importance for this hearing, sense of hearing. All the Panchakshari Gawai is full name. And all these, music is taught by the sense of hearing from mouth to mouth. So because they can hear properly even though they can't see it. Once he goes to a devotee's house, there there was a vessel, it falls off. Immediately says, this vessel belongs to the ashram. Then they ask you, how do you know it? He said, I can hear it, the sound. By hearing the sound, I can make out it belongs to the ashram. So they will be very sharp in hearing. And then nowadays there are some electronic gadgets also. So tactual aids including braille writer slates and stylus. Stylus means writing the material, like just like our pen or pencil. And there will be different slates also, but there will be little ups and downs. So by touch of that ups and downs, they can make out the letter. Even auditory aids, because they can hear properly. It includes cassettes, tape recorders, talking books, audio CDs, and voice boxes with computers. All this, they are called aids for visually impaired persons. Okay, all this will help. Electronic aids include talking calculators and computers. But here the only change is they can't see anything. They can hear, they can touch, they can smell, all those things. So there will be computers, there will be talking calculators. Closed circuit television. You heard of television? Baba says television is like television. Some of the programs are not so good. Of course, there are so many interesting things also. You can see the football match, cricket match, some good films also, and good teaching materials are there. But there are some very unwanted things also. So you have to avoid that. Okay. So in case of the visually impaired people, closed circuit television will be there, and there it enlarges the printed material with suitable contrast and illumination. What is illumination? Light. So they will give proper illumination to it. Okay. Now let us see this. Come on, let us just revise what you have studied so far about Braille system. Can you make out this? See, A is like this, B is 2 dot, C 2 dot like this, D is 3 dots. So this is a special code. Very interesting, correct? Now let us just to make some words. So out of this, see here 3 dots are here, that is picked up here. What does it stand for? It stands for L. And see this 1, 2, 3 dots, that is picked up here 1, 2, 3. So we say O, L-O. Can you guess the word? No. Okay, try one more word. You must search where it comes. See here 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you call it? V. And last but not the least, so you have E. See here E. 2 dots like this. What is that word? Love. Okay. Shall we have one more? The word is love. One more is, so you must search in this. It's called Braille code. Of course, for the visually impaired, no, they have to touch and find out. For us, we can see it. So here 2 dots. Where you are 2 dots, you must search. The 2 dots are here. So the word is C here. Then only 1 dot left side. There is 1 dot. That word is A. 1 dot. Next is R. See here R. 1, 2, 3 and 1. And lastly E. What is the word now? Care. So that is how the Braille system is made use of. Okay. So like that you can go on forming words, and words also go on forming sentences. That is how the language is learnt. Is it nice? Okay. Now let us see what Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai says. It's a beautiful photo of Sadguru. He says, look upon everybody as divine. He says, each soul is potentially divine. As in Sanskrit, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Treat them with love and reverence. Should not discard anybody. Should not condemn. Okay? Don't treat them as human. If you follow this in daily life, you will never have any issues in life. Means you will not have any problem. So you must see everybody as divine sparks. Will you try it? Okay. Then you will not have any problem in life. Okay. So come prepared for the, just revise what I have studied so far. Thank you.